They offered everything to the Sharks, $500,000 for 10%, and then they walked out empty-handed, told their pancake dreams would be crushed by industry giants. But what if that rejection on national television was the spark that turned a family recipe from a little red wagon into a breakfast empire? The moment their no deal aired, destiny shifted, and the real story of Kodiak Cakes was only just beginning. So how did a televised failure fuel one of grocery's biggest underdog victories? In 1982, a handwritten pancake recipe changed hands in a small Utah kitchen. Penny Clark, determined to share her father's mix, packed paper bags into her son Joel's little red wagon and sent him door to door. 8 years old and grinning, Joel knocked on neighbors' doors and sold every last bag by sundown. That childhood hustle set the tone for Kodiak Cakes, a brand built on grit, family, and the idea that breakfast could be both hearty and healthy. As the years went by, the dream grew bigger, but the realities of the grocery world hit hard. Joel took the reins as an adult, moving production to Park City and doubling down on whole grains, no added fats, and a rustic outdoorsy identity. But behind the scenes, survival was anything but guaranteed. Grocery shelves were crowded, and getting a new brand noticed meant more than just a good story or a tasty mix. It meant paying for space, literally. Slotting fees, those hidden costs that chains charge just to let a box sit on the shelf, drained their cash faster than they could earn it. Each new retailer meant another round of checks with no guarantee that sales would follow. By the early part of the decade that started in 2010, pressure mounted. Joel borrowed $35,000 of his own money to keep the lights on, juggling side gigs and contemplating bankruptcy more than once. The company's future teetered on the edge, with every dollar stretched thin. Grocery margins were razor sharp, and the risk of collapse was real. There were nights when Joel wondered if it was time to quit. Then a break. Target placed a purchase order worth $260,000 for Kodiak Cakes. It was the kind of deal most small food brands dream about, a chance to move from local shelves to a national stage. But the opportunity came with its own set of challenges. Meeting Target's demand meant ramping up production, paying even steeper slotting fees, and somehow finding the cash to deliver on time. Kodiak's team scraped together every resource, betting that this one shot could finally tip the scales. The wagon was gone, replaced by pallets and purchase orders. But the stakes were higher than ever. Kodiak Cakes stood on the edge of something big, with everything riding on whether they could turn a family recipe and a Target order into real, lasting momentum. Lights glare in the studio as Joel Clark and Cameron Smith stand before the Sharks, asking for $500,000 in exchange for 10% of Kodiak Cakes, a $5 million valuation. The pitch is crisp, whole grain mixes, a family recipe, and a $260,000 purchase order from Target already in hand. But the questions come fast. Kevin O'Leary zeroes in on the numbers, warning that big players like Christia's or Aunt Jemima could crush a small brand on price alone. Mark Cuban points out the razor-thin margins and wonders why not borrow against incoming Target receivables, rather than give up a chunk of the company. The founders defend their math. They explain that slotting fees, those steep payments just to get on grocery shelves, eat through cash at a rate most outsiders never see. The $500,000 is not just for growth, it is survival money, a way to keep up with retail demand and push into new stores before competitors muscle in. But the Sharks remain skeptical. Robert Herjavec questions the $5 million valuation, suggesting the founders are betting on hope, not profit. O'Leary calls Kodiak Cakes a commodity, hard to defend against giants with deeper pockets. Offers begin to land, each more aggressive than the last. Robert Herjavec offers $500,000 for 35% of the company. Barbara Corcoran floats a partial deal, $250,000 for 20%, but only if another Shark joins in. O'Leary proposes a joint offer with Barbara, totaling $500,000 for half the business. The math is blunt. If the founders took the full ask on those terms, they would lose control of their company. Each counteroffer slices away at their dream of building something lasting. Joel and Cameron weigh the choices in real time. The room is tense. Turning down the money means risking everything, but giving up half the company for a rescue feels even riskier. After a final pause, Joel speaks for both. They decline all offers, insisting Kodiak Cakes is worth more than the sharks believe. The walk-off is quiet but sure. The founders leave the stage without a deal, holding tight to their vision and the future of their brand. Phones rang non-stop. In the 6 weeks after Kodiak Cakes aired on national television, the company logged over $1 million in new sales, without a single shark on the cap table. Orders poured in from online customers and grocery buyers, pushing the warehouse team into round-the-clock packing. Pallets stacked high with pancake mix rolled out the door, straining every inch of their operation. The sudden surge was not just a flash of publicity, it was proof that the brand story and product could move at scale even when the experts had walked away. But the real breakthrough came from the kitchen, not the cameras. As the dust settled from the sales spike, Kodiak's team zeroed in on what customers wanted most: a breakfast that worked as hard as they did. Borrowing a trick from home bakers and gym goers, they developed a new mix packed with 14 grams of protein per serving. The result was Power Cakes, a product that fit the growing demand for high-protein, macro-friendly foods. The nutrition label became a badge of honor, simple, bold, and right on trend, with fitness-minded shoppers and busy families looking for more from their mornings. The company did not just ride the Shark Tank wave. They built on it, using the exposure to prove their concept and the protein pivot to anchor their future. New product varieties followed, each designed to meet the moment, from cornbread to microwavable cups. The operation that once struggled to fill a Target order now hustled to keep up with national demand, laying the groundwork for the kind of growth that would soon attract serious outside investment. By 2016, Kodiak Cakes had outgrown the days of borrowed cash and warehouse scrambles. The next leap required more than hustle, it needed serious capital. That year, the company secured a minority investment from Sunrise Strategic Partners, a move designed to fuel broader distribution and product innovation. With fresh funding, Kodiak expanded its reach, moving beyond the protein pancake aisle into frozen breakfast, oatmeal, granola bars, and snacks. Shelves that once held a single box now carried entire Kodiak displays, and the brand's footprint stretched across the country. As demand soared, Kodiak's products landed in nearly 26,000 retail doors, including giants like Walmart, Costco, and Kroger. The scale was staggering compared to the Red Wagon beginnings. But the company's ambitions did not stop with distribution. In 2021, private equity firm L. Catterton acquired a majority stake in Kodiak Cakes. While the terms remained undisclosed, industry estimates placed the deal's value in the hundreds of millions, an outcome few would have predicted from a Shark Tank walkout. Leadership evolved alongside the brand's growth. In November 2022, Valerie Oswalt, a veteran of snack and consumer brands, stepped in as CEO. Soon after, actor Zac Efron joined as Chief Brand Officer, helping steer Kodiak's message into pop culture and wellness circles. Today, the company's founders remain involved, but a new executive team drives Kodiak's vision forward, blending the grit of its early years with the scale and polish of a national powerhouse. Today, Kodiak products are in over 26,000 stores, proof that mainstream success can follow a public rejection. As grocery aisles shift toward high-protein, health-focused foods, the real takeaway is clear: you do not need a shark to disrupt an industry. Sometimes the market is the ultimate judge. What do you think?